it's Gwen, and today I have a special guest with me. This is my pet lizard, Sebastian. We all call him Sebby. Sebby is a bearded dragon, and today we're going to teach you 10 awesome facts about bearded dragons. Number 1. Bearded dragons are cold-blooded. Like other reptiles, bearded dragons are cold-blooded. This means that they need lots of warmth and heat to stay alive. Bearded dragons come from the outback in Australia, where it gets very hot. And one of their favourite things to do there is lay down on hot rocks and soak up the sun. When bearded dragons are kept in this country, they need a nice hot tank to stay warm and safe. I like to let Sebby out for an hour or so each day for cuddles and exercise, but as he gets colder, his body will slow down and he needs to go back in his tank to stay warm. Number 2. Bearded dragons are omnivores. Bearded dragons are omnivores. This means that they can eat plants and meat. Bearded dragons prefer it when their meat is alive because this triggers their prey drive. Sebby eats a small bowl of salad each day and he eats live insects 3 times a week. In the wild, bearded dragons will also eat small mice and small lizards, including their own kind. These wriggly worms might look disgusting to us, but they're one of Sebby's favourite foods. He also eats cockroaches, locusts, mealworms, waxworms, crickets and Mario worms. Let's feed him. Good boy, good boy. Yum, yum, yum. All full up. 3. Bearded dragons communicate by head bobbing and arm waving. Bearded dragons communicate by head bobbing and arm waving. This is usually part of their courtship ritual. The male dragon will bob his head to ask the female if she wants to mate, and then the female will wave her arms to submit to the male dragon. This footage was recorded during breeding season. As you can see, Sebby's very riled up, bobbing a lot and running round trying to look for a female. 4. Bearded dragons fight for dominance. Head bobbing and arm waving isn't always about courtship. Sometimes it's a way for them to challenge each other. A large adult male will bob his head at a smaller male dragon to show him that he's boss. And the smaller dragon submits to this authority by waving his arms. Another thing dragons do to establish dominance is the more dominant dragon will lay down on top of the weaker dragon, blocking out the weaker dragon's access to sunlight. This ensures that the more dominant dragon gets more warmth, more vitamin D, and establishes his place in the hierarchy. Because male bearded dragons are so competitive, 2 adult males should never be placed in the same tank. 5. Bearded dragons have beards. Bearded dragons are named for the patch of skin underneath their chin, which is called their beard. Oh, I think Sebby's getting bored. He's going to wander off now. There you go, bud. When they're angry or distressed, a bearded dragon can inflate this patch of skin so that it gets bigger. This can also be associated with breeding season. If a bearded dragon feels really threatened, they will inflate their beard and they will flatten out their body so that they're taking up as much space as possible. This makes them look bigger, so they're perceived as more of a threat to predators and anyone else who might attack them. 6. Bearded dragons can change colour. When a bearded dragon reaches sexual maturity, sometimes the skin on their beard can go jet black. This usually means that they're ready to breed, but the skin on a dragon's beard and the rest of their scales will also darken if they're feeling angry or threatened or upset. In this case, they're likely to fluff their beards with air as well. Sebi's beard tends to go dark if I'm giving him a bath, if I'm waking him up for a nap, or if he's in an unfamiliar room. And it's just his way of telling me that he's not happy. He hates bath time.
This footage was taken when Sebi was a bit upset, and as you can see, he's fluffed his beard, the scales on his beard have darkened, and he's breathing a little bit more heavily.
Seven. Bearded dragons don't urinate. It seems a little strange, but bearded dragons don't urinate. They've evolved to live in the Australian outback, an environment that's very harsh and very hot. This means their bodies are designed to survive on as little water as possible. They don't urinate because that would be a waste of precious water. Instead, any water that a bearded dragon doesn't need will come out in their poo. Don't worry, I'm not going to show you footage of this. If you own a bearded dragon, you can place a small bowl of water in their tank. Sometimes they'll drink from this, other times they won't. Sebi has never drank from his water bowl, but he does get plenty of water from eating his salad, and the vet has ensured me that he's very hydrated. 8. Bearded dragons aren't maternal. Adult bearded dragons don't care for their young. The female will lay the eggs somewhere safe and bury them to keep them warm and out of sight of predators. Then she will leave them. This means that from the minute baby bearded dragons hatch, they're alert and they know how to take care of themselves. I bought Sebi when he was a tiny 3-week-old hatchling the size of my finger, and he already knew how to run, hunt and fight. Isn't that amazing?
These photos were taken of Sebi when he was still a baby on the day I brought him home from the pet shop. As you can see, he was much smaller then. In fact, his food dish was a lot bigger than him. But given how rapidly dragons grow, they do need to consume a lot of calories when they're young. Even though he's just been hatched, he's still running around independently. Isn't he cute?
9. The sex of a baby bearded dragon will change depending on what temperature the eggs are at. If a bearded dragon's eggs are stored in a temperature of 35 degrees or above, all the babies will be female. If their eggs are stored at a temperature of 30 degrees or below, the eggs will all be male. Isn't that strange? 10. Bearded dragons make amazing pets. This should go without saying, but bearded dragons make amazing pets. Their hardy nature means they're very easy to care for. All they need is a nice warm tank, lots of food and exercise, and a few cuddles. If I had a cat or a dog, I would worry about leaving it alone while I was out at work. But I can leave Sebi for 7 hours, and he'll probably be napping in the same position he was when I left him that morning when I arrive home. He's a pretty lazy lizard. Bearded dragons are also tons of fun. Each one has their own unique personality, and they can be very affectionate on their own terms.
Here's a few photos of Sebi, just to illustrate how funny and mischievous he can be.
I hope you enjoyed this video. It was really fun for me to make a video with my lizard. Why don't you comment below and let me know what your favourite bearded dragon fact was. Don't forget to head over to the Autism First YouTube channel for lots more entertaining videos to watch during lockdown. See you guys soon!